Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, it's a beautiful day outside, nice cool temperatures. In fact, when I woke up this morning, I was about to freeze. It was 50 degrees outside and it was really cool in the house. And I walked around half of the morning with a little jacket on and some warm house shoes on my feet. And now it's warmed up enough that, of course, I've shucked the jacket and when you get busy doing your chores, then you warm up. But fall is here, and I know that there will be more warm temperatures. We're supposed to be like 87, 88, 89 tomorrow when we're at Fin and Feather and all of the yard sales, and we're looking forward to that. But today I've got lots of chores to do. Blade's working and getting some things in place. We're working on getting the nursery for little Howie, trying to get that nursery ready for him, and we've got plants that need to be set out, and we've got all kinds of projects going on, and it's a good thing to be busy. And I'm glad we feel that way because we definitely have lots of projects to do, y'all. We're also washing laundry, so overlook that dryer signal. But today I'm going to bring to you a recipe for a salad dressing. And one of the ways that we can save money is making our dressings and making things that when we have ingredients on hand, we can pull them together and make a dressing, and that's saving a little bit of money by going to the store and having all of the different bottles of dressing. If you've got the basic ingredients, a lot of recipes are going to call for garlic, and they're going to call for salt, and they're going to call for onion powder and vinegar and oil and all these different things. And if you've got those things, then you can pull recipes together pretty easy to save some money on the store-bought that it's kind of iffy on the ingredients that you have. And if you're making enough dressing to stretch the meal that you're having, whether you're having it on your salad or you're using it in a recipe, there are recipes that call for bottles of recipe, really good chicken recipes, really good. I love to use balsamic when I'm cooking chicken in the skillet with no breading on it. I love the way that caramelizes on the chicken, and I might bring that recipe to you guys sometime. It's really simple recipe. But anyway, you can make these dressings, save a lot of money. They taste good. You know what you've put in them. They're not going to be stable as far as being on the shelf. Most of them are going to have to be in the refrigerator, and they're not going to be something that you can put in the refrigerator and push to the back and save it for months and months and months. It's going to be something that you need to use up fairly quickly. But you know what, if you're just making enough for your recipe or for a salad for a couple of nights throughout the week, and they're cheap enough that you can make a couple of different salad dressings. I know in this household I like a varying degree of dressings. Cheyenne's favorite is ranch. Blade's favorite is ranch. I think they'll eat Italian and creamy Italian. I'm not really sure if they eat any other kind of dressings. I can't remember, because ranch is the one that they reach for the most. But I'm going to bring this recipe to you now, and it's a Catalina recipe. Now, everybody has their own recipes for this, but I've checked out several different people that have their recipes listed for this, and with just a few little squeaks here and there, the recipe varies just a very little bit. And so I feel pretty confident bringing this recipe to you that it'll be something that you like, and you may even like it better than store-bought, and make it something that you can put on yourself and use for the family. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get busy making this recipe. I'm pretty confident that most people have all of the ingredients that are listed here. And so this should be something that you'd be able to pull off of your shelf and make for your family. So the first, and it's all simply going to just be dump ingredients in this is a two cup bowl, measuring cup, and all the stuff should be able to fit right in here. And so the first thing that I'm going to put, and I'll put the recipe down below so that you don't have to try to write it all down now in the midst of all my stammering and trying to get the recipe out to you. So the first thing that I'm going to add is just 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. And then the next thing I'm going to add is 1/4 cup of ketchup. You can use any kind of ketchup that you want to use, any brand. Howie was partial to a certain brand. Heinz was his favorite ketchup. I grew up having whatever ketchup was on sale. I'm sure he did the same thing. But you know how it is when we get older, we allow ourselves to have things that, you know, sometimes our parents had to just deal with the store brand or whatever they could afford. But Howie's favorite was Heinz, and I've used Heinz and Hunt's and whatever. I've never really found a recipe for homemade ketchup that I really liked, but I saw that Miss Sarah over at Living Traditions had a recipe up for homemade ketchup the other day that she says is really good, and it's comparable to this. This is her favorite brand as well. So I'll probably give that a shot and see what we come up with. But that was 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of ketchup. And now, this might be the one item that most people don't have. This is apple cider vinegar. This just happens to be the brand that I use, and it has the mother in it. Meaning, if you don't know what that means, now I've shaken mine up, but there's usually a little cloudy substance here in the bottom of the vinegar. And that doesn't mean that your vinegar is bad. That just means that this layer down here is what develops when your vinegar is brewing, so to speak, and is very healthy and very good for that to be in there. So don't throw your apple cider vinegar away thinking that this little cloudy stuff at the bottom is bad. That's a good thing. And so I'm going to add 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar right into this. Now, I love the smell of apple cider vinegar, and most people laugh when I tell you this, but apple cider vinegar always makes me think of coloring eggs at Easter time. I don't know why. I know that you use vinegar in the little, we always had the little colored little tablets that you put them in the vinegar, and I think that's probably where the connection is. But I never ever smell apple cider vinegar that it doesn't take me back to coloring Easter eggs with my mom and my siblings when I was a little kid. So back to our recipe. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Now I am going to use my home dehydrated onion, and I have a video on that if you want to see that. And I dehydrated it, and then well, first I caramelized it in the crock pot, then dehydrated it, and then made a powder out of it. And then I've got some that's not quite powdered, and that's what this is. But for my salad dressing, I don't mind this a bit. So I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Half a teaspoon of paprika. Half of a tablespoon of Worcestershire. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but that's how I say it. Worcestershire. I say Worcestershire. 1/2 teaspoon, or 1/2 tablespoon, excuse me. 1/2 tablespoon. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and this is pink Himalayan sea salt. It doesn't have to be that. You can just use regular salt if that's what you've got. 1/2 teaspoon of that right in there. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and I'm going to use white pepper just because I like the look in my salad dressing. And smelling that as I take it out of the jar, I think I'm going to change my mind on that. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon, and I'll put that in the recipe below. This is optional too. So I think I'm going to go with, this is 1/4 of a teaspoon measurement, and I'm going to put about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm pretty particular about pepper. So just know that the pepper is optional. You don't have to put it in there. The next thing that you need, the last ingredient, is a mild tasting oil. You can use whatever it is that your family uses in the way of oils. Now, everybody has their opinions on what oil is the best and what oil is on the no-no list. You know what I mean by the different kinds. Oh, coconut oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, olive oil. You want one that's mild. Don't use a strong one. I would not, I'm looking at my oils from here, and I have avocado oil. I don't like avocado oil. And I really wouldn't like it in this. It's really strong. I have extra virgin olive oil. That probably, I've read other people's comments, and they thought that that was too strong. My preference would, I like sunflower oil, and I'm going to use 1/2 of a cup of a mild tasting oil. And I'm going to whisk it up. Now you can put it in a blender. You can put it in one of those little bullets. But I think what I'm going to do is pour it in this little canning jar without making too much of a mess. Just get the lid on it, and I think I will just shake it. Make sure your lid's on there really good, or you're going to have a big mess. Okay. So I have a little bit of oh, that looks so pretty. I don't know if you guys can really see it real good, but it looks really nice and really pretty. Let's see here. I'll move this. I'm going to put some out here in this little white bowl so that you can see it. Maybe if you can see how it, the consistency of it is really nice. And I got a little bit of lettuce out of here to kind of show you how it coats the lettuce. Now the next thing would be to taste it. Okay, so I tasted it off screen. So I'll taste it on screen now. If you ever wondered, I get tickled because people will taste it like I'm getting ready to do. And I've wondered what would happen if somebody ever took a bite of something that they had just made for people and it was awful, if they would be able to be honest with, or you know, hide the shock on their face of how bad it really tasted. But this really does taste good. And it really does taste like the salad dressings that go by this name at the grocery store. So with just a little bitty tiny bit of effort, we've made a great tasted salad dressing that'll go quite a ways for your family on their salads or a recipe and try to use it within a week or so, and it'll be delicious. Well guys, there's one of our salad dressings. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you try it and enjoy it. This is Josie with Cedar Creek Homestead, and until next time, guys, I have lots and lots to do. Fall is here, it's cooler, we can get some chores done. I love y'all, I really do. We'll be seeing you next time. We're gone.